Good evening, good evening, good evening. Cheers to you all out there. Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review presents Let's Talk Houston Rockets. I am, of course, KG, Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. It's 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Trying to be consistent on these start times for the summer. So let's get into it here on this edition of LTHR as you're watching on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. News for the day, topic of discussion for this particular live stream show. Man Mountain, Steven Adams and the Rockets have agreed to a 3-year contract extension worth $39 million total, average of $13 million per year. It's a great deal. All years are guaranteed, according to my colleague, Kelly Eco. I think it's probably what Steve Adams wanted for that third year. No team option on that third year, so good for him for that. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think about it? I'm not surprised. I think there were some wishes, hopes, dreams of other teams, fans of other teams, hoping that Steven Adams would not stay with the Rockets and join them. No, didn't doubt it for a second that he would not. That he would go somewhere else. He was not looking for the moon. Rockets to get him make him a fair offer, and they did agree to it. Here he is. Justin, how you doing? Glad it wasn't Brooke Lopez. Why do you say that, Justin? Thank you, as always, for joining the conversation on these Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows. We got viewers chiming in. Don't be shy with the comments here on the YouTube channel. Be like Justin and type in your comment and post it, and I will try my best to bring it up on the screen and make it part of the discussion. But just some numbers from Keith Smith from Spot Track. The numbers there, Rockets, and he, as he says on the screen, as I'm saying, this is updated projections on Spot Track for the Rockets post-Adams extension. All projections, and this is important, include Fred VanVleet and Aaron Holiday's options being declined. Okay. Team options for both players starting on, in Fred's case, deadline June 29th, and they're probably going to decline that to give them a new contract extension. Excuse me, a new deal. Aaron Holiday, but currently, Fred, for his third year, that will be declined at the Rockets option, is worth about $44.8 million. And then Aaron's is about 4.8 for the 25-26 season. So based on those two amounts being declined, Rockets project to be $28.3 million under the tax, about $36.4 under the first apron, $48.2 million under the second apron. Have a few roster spots open, pending options, non-guaranteed deals, etc. More importantly, according to Keith, Rockets still have terrific flexibility to operate under the aprons and possibly under the tax. Can create even more wiggle room, more than $10 million by waiving Jock Landale and his $8 million, and Nate Williams Jr. and his $2 million. Busy summer coming for Houston. Lots of moving parts. Here's the numbers, FYI. CD, how are you? Good way to start the offseason. Shows a lot of people reporting he was going elsewhere. Was so wrong. Again, folks, I don't know everything. Trust me. I don't know everything. But I had no doubt Steve Adams was going to come back. I've been none. There's no doubt whatsoever. He liked it here. As long as the money was right, no low ball offer, he was coming back. Never in my mind he was going to go somewhere else. No doubt whatsoever. Bobby, how are you? Hello to you. He's good with it. The Rockets needed to keep Adams for his physical play. He played so well in the first round. I mean, he was a big reason for what they do, the success they did have against the Warriors. But there you go. The salary cap is projected to be $154.6 million for each team. And no, hardly any team is going to be that low. The luxury tax projects to be $187.9 million. The first apron is $195.9 million. The second apron is $207.8 million. Rockets' current payroll probably a little bit different, slightly different with Steven Adams. Probably first year with the extension is right around $12.8 million. So maybe a little bit, slightly less than the 191,588 you see on the screen. First apron space a little bit, might be a little bit more, but not a significant amount. Just some numbers there for you to crunch around and keep in your mind. I mean, it's summertime, it's off season. The draft is first round on June 25th. Generational hater. Thought Adams would be 2 years. Again, like I said, it's a 3-year deal. It probably haggled and negotiated, went back and forth on that, and to agree on that 3rd year, all guaranteed. So the guarantee probably was something that Steven Adams was pushing for, and Rafael and Steven's rep said, okay, let's do 3 years, $39 million, and call it a day. And there we go. Justin states, Adams loves Texas. The Rockets even had cameras follow him and Reed to the rodeo. He loves it here. You know, he's built a solid foundation here. I mean, you know, his time here, he enjoys it. Jamon, how are you? They say he was limited this season due to recovering from injury, so he could have more of an impact in the regular season. Yeah. Toward the end of the season, end of March, April, and the playoff, the first round, you saw what a healthy Steven Adams can do. And so you'll probably see more of that from him early in the season for 25-26. Complicated. Now that Adams is under contract, will the Rockets bring back Fred? Similar. Fred's not coming back for that $44.8 million. Not for that amount. But I think he'll be back. And they're just going to agree on the numbers. Years, the amount, maybe 3 years, 60 million, 3 years, 75, whatever, something like that. I don't see Fred going anywhere either. So I have no reason. Fred wants to be here. That 3rd year of the deal, the contract was a huge amount. 3rd year was smart by Rafael to make it a team option. So they have the option to do what they want to do. So now they're going to discuss it. They got till the 29th of June to hammer out numbers and the years. Give Fred more years, a little less upfront money, annual money. He'll be back. Justin, they had an interesting stat. Steven Adams has never been a free agent, and his career earnings are $210 million, a successful career and valuable player. He is. Generational hater does not want Fred back. Hopes they let Fred walk. Name a single team outside the lottery that he would start on. Give me some thought. I could probably think of some. CD asks, you and Terry are thinking the same thing. Terry messaged me, sent me a DM and said that he doesn't think the Rockets will draft a big. I don't know about all that. That's a good one off the top of my head right there. J-Ma says, good start in Dallas right now. Kawhi, yeah. Kyrie injured, yeah. I think the Rockets, I don't know if they'll draft a center at 10. They might move down in the first round and still draft a big. But, Jock Landale and his $8 million could be used in a trade. I doubt Jock Landale will be back. Will be a Rocket much longer. I doubt he'll be with the team on opening day. So I could still see them drafting a big. In Folly, Dante, big man, notwithstanding. But not at 10. I think that's probably less likely. Yeah, that's a good one right there. I think Fred better than Mike Conley. I think so. Mike Conley, great veteran as well. Older than Fred. You can see the wear and tear on Mike's body. He's taking his toll, been in the league a lot of years. The production is not there. Fred's better player than Mike Conley now. I think you agree on that. Do I think Kenny Lofton should get a summer league tryout from the Rockets? Why? I'm glad he's doing well in China. Good for him. What role would he have with the Rockets? I mean, seriously, part of the discussion, what role would Kenny Lofton provide the Rockets? I mean, he's an undersized post player, an improving three-point shot, not a great athlete, not a great defensive player, not great in switches. What would he provide the Rockets? Fred had 27 games with 10 or less points, but Fred fits what the Rockets need. Fred should not be a 1 or 2 option for the Rockets. That's not his role. I don't believe any of you guys expect Fred to be option 1, option 2 for the Rockets. That's why they have Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun. Fred's job is to run the offense, facilitate, get some assists, limit his turnovers. That's his role. And score when needed. If Fred is having to score big numbers for the Rockets, that means other players, other teammates have not done their part in that game. And that's a problem. Fred's not supposed to be the number 1 scorer for the Rockets. That's not his role. He was brought here to provide veteran leadership and stability. He's done that. Now, there have been some games when he has heat check shots when he shouldn't. I agree with that. But I don't look for Fred to be a 20-10 guy for Houston. That's not his role. And with Rafael saying it more publicly, they expect Reed Sheppard to have a larger role and more minutes this coming season. Then Fred can be a good mentor for Reed. And if Reed does what Rafael believes in him to do, then Reed will take more minutes. Fred's minutes will shrink. And then ultimately Reed will start. There you go. Let's see. Justin says, I'm hearing from guys and a scout for the Sun that teams have told Lofton to lose weight. Been his problem since he was at La Tech. And you see how long ago that was. Justin, I don't know if you know it, but Kenny Lofton had a chance, an opportunity to transfer to UH and chose not to. Well, he's been bounced around ever since. That's on him. Got some bad advice. Probably still getting some too. And let me kind of, I'm going to counter Generational Haters number, his comment right here. Reed, well, he better take Aaron Holiday's minutes. He better, if Aaron's still on the team. I don't care what Stephen A says about anything in life. So be forewarned. Whatever for Stephen A, whatever. Udoka won't play Reed or Cam with a vet taking up 25 or 30 million in cap room. Well, he's going to have to. If there's a better player. If Reed lives up to the hype that the Rockets are placing on him, it's time for him to show it on the court. I don't care how much a player is making. The amount a player gets from a team does not, or at some point, does not equate to their playing time. If that player, I don't care, making 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever million per year, not getting it done, I'm not going to, and I don't want my team, my coach to still play that player if they're not producing. Well, we're still playing him because he's making so much money. The hell I care. And you shouldn't care either. if they're not getting the job done, they'll still get paid. Don't blame them. I don't care about all the money's money. Most of us on this show won't ever see the amount of money these NBA players are making in our lifetime. I hope for all of y'all to get to that point in your life. Me too. But I'm not basing playing time on how much you make. You play well, you're going to play. You don't, you won't. Simple. LJ Cryer, good for him. But he needs to learn how to play the point in the NBA. He's getting there. He's getting there. He's got a long way to go. Let's see. Do I believe Adams will start? I doubt it. His role will be the same. Come off the bench. Be part of the triple big lineup when needed. Complicated. Is that a problem for you? If Jalen is an odd man out, if Reed's role increases? Doesn't bother me any. Justin, you said it. Kenny could have come to the Cougars, and he chose not to. He, his dad, whoever, whatever. H-Town Big Dobbs, thank you. Good to hear from you. Believe Şengün is better suited at the 4 and Jabari at the 3. Probably for stretches, not for 30 minutes a game, 30 plus. H-Town's finest, how are you doing? Generational hater. Hey, I admire your numbers and stats about Fred. Great. I don't doubt them. And Fred's role with the Rockets is not, Fred should not be scoring more points than Jalen Green. That's not Fred's role. Fred should not be averaging more points than LP, Jalen. So he did not have a great shooting percentage for much of the season. I agree with that. But I don't care if Fred, where he ranked 111. So this is the question, the big ones that need to be answered. Can Reed be good enough on the defensive end to satisfy Ime? Time will tell. I have my doubts. But kind of added to that, will Reed's confidence and effectiveness offensively help to calm Ime's frustration if Reed's defense does not match or get close to his offensive production? Will Reed be enough to be a plus player on the floor and not just a minus all the time? That's a question. JK, thank you as well. Am I on the keep Jalen or trade Jalen? Personally, I believe the Rockets should trade Jalen. I don't believe they will, especially during the summer and not before the deadline in February. I believe they are going to give Jalen every single opportunity to improve, to shine, to become that dog that a lot of folks on this show believe he needs to be that leader, to be that 1A option, to be that all-star player. They're going to give him every chance to do that. I just have my doubts that he'll do it as a Rocket, ever. H-Town's finest hopes the Rockets don't trade for KG. He's too old to trade for, even if we trade Jalen Green. All right, I'm kind of confused. How are Fred's assist numbers inflated by giving the ball to Alpi, who creates the offense, creates the advantage to get him the assist? The league does not track hockey assists. So if Fred passes to a teammate and that teammate scores, that's an assist for Fred. If Alpi passes the ball after getting the ball from Fred and the teammate scores, that's an assist for Alpi. That has nothing to do with Fred and assists. You know, let's see. Jamon thinks since the Rockets won 50 plus games and they've already extended him, there's no harm in continuing to let him start, but they should have a contingency plan. You're talking about Jalen Green? I mean, that's what they're going to do. Stone wants to save face with Jalen. That's part of what I am inferring when I say the Rockets will give Jalen every chance, every opportunity to shine, to excel, to succeed here. But at some point, I do believe Ime, if Jalen does not step up, does not get better, does not improve, Ime is not going to play Jalen at the expense of losses. There's going to come a point in the season, if Jalen does not do his job, Ime is not going to just keep playing him. And Ime and Rafael can have those talks behind closed doors. You know, Rafael at some point as well. Rafael, the job is to win. Ego aside, if Jalen just doesn't get it done, doesn't cut it, and the Rockets begin to lose because of his poor play, they're going to have to stop playing him. And then hurry and trade him before he really, his trade value goes down the toilet and getting pennies on the dollar. CD, trade Jalen for who has a better upside and makes us a championship contender. Give me 3 shooting guards not named Ant. To trade Jalen for, oh, I could probably think of some in the West. You know, I mean, I'm sure I could. Bobby, probably not. Hopefully, 2 years out after his issues from the previous season, he'll be able to play back-to-back games, but hopefully, it has not been determined. And again, generational hater. We're going to agree to disagree on Fred. Fred, there are point guards better than Fred. I acknowledge that. But for his role on the Rockets, like I said, I already gave you one. He's better than Mike Conley. And until Kyrie comes back, he's better than anything Dallas has. So that's 2 to your answer. Could the Rockets do better at point guard at some point? Well, they got one in the wings. They hope is that guy. I have my doubts on him too, but anyway. No intel, no, on why he did that. No, I don't. It's kind of a surprise. But, you know, he sees the potential. He believes in the potential of Jalen Green. It's on Jalen to get it done. Jalen's last, 5 games in April and his first round in the playoffs, he can't do that in October, November, and December. He has the skill set. Now he's not to get the mindset and the IQ to learn how to attack and counter defenses tossed at him. on the fly during a game. He's got to do better there. That's up to him as well. That's part of his growth. The Knicks, bless their hearts. I mean, calling 5, 6 teams, asking for permission to talk to the head coach. That's a ballsy look. That's a ballsy look, and a look like you have no plan. Also, so I mean, come on. And that's part of it as well. You have to run when guys are guarding you tough. You got to beat them to the spot, attack, all those things. You naming Dallas like they weren't in the lottery. All right, let me see. but generational hater, you did not counter my Mike Conley answer to your question. I gave you one. That's Mike Conley. Now you're upset that I gave you another one. Mike Conley is the answer. You said give you one. I did that. But again, Fred's job and role with the Rockets is to facilitate, be a leader in the locker room, and produce on the court and not have turnovers. If Reed Sheppard improves his play and limits Fred's minutes, that's win Rockets. The Rockets, when Fred sat on the bench, their offense stunk for a lot of the season. That says two things about Fred's importance to these Rockets and the Rockets' lack of a better point guard. So I mean, take it for what it's worth right there. Let's see. Drew Holiday, Father Time, catching up with him too. Yeah. And I think a lot of folks agree with this, some not all. Just because you lead a team in scoring does not mean said person is a great player. Fair there. WK says, in a redraft, looking back at that 21 draft, Jalen would probably not be picked in the top quartile of his peers. Well, the chosen one, how are you doing? Thank you for joining the discussion. Appreciate you. Hater, I'm not gonna convince you. That's fine. See, because now you're bringing up stuff that Mike Conley did in the past. Fred won a chip in the past. Mike ain't done that, period. In these playoffs that just completed, Mike Conley had his moments, way more than Fred did. And that's what I'm basing on. So, you can pick and choose all you want. I'm not going to convince you. That's fine. CD, Jalen's been in the league how many years compared to Jamin? In that part of the answer right there to your question? Jalen been in 4 years, right? 4 years. He is who he is. It's time for him. I showed the slide for 2 months ago. Let's see if Jalen Green has the improvement explosion from year 4 to year 5 that SGA had. If he does, then Rockets are winning. I kind of doubt that, though. I hope he does. Jalen Green winning, shining with the Rockets makes these shows more fun, makes covering Rockets more fun, gets more interest, all those things. I have no hate against Jalen. Nothing personal. Don't care. Let him do well. Yeah. Hater, like I said, you can go ahead. You don't like Fred, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to convince you, and that's fine too. You can keep the conversation rolling in the chat. That's no words whatsoever. Because your first question was name a non-lottery team that Fred would start for. You gave Mike Conley, and then you kept changing, moving the goalposts. That's fine. Now I started Mike, 37 years old. That wasn't your question. That was not your first question. Is this Jaro? Is this Jaro? Jaro? I don't want to insult you. Don't take it personal. Thank you for joining the conversation. Glad you're here. Come again. What I think would be a better trade for a team overall, trading Jalen Green for KD or get Giannis, but we have to give away Şengün. Like I touched on it Thursday show, based on salaries right now, the trade that worked did not involve Jalen Green. It's a simple one. It was Dylan Brooks, Reed Shepard, Jock Landale because of his money, and then Cam or Aaron Holiday. That's us right now, before the draft, before the June 25th draft. Now, of course, Jalen's salary goes up next month, goes up to $33.3 million. Reports are the Suns are trying to move KD before the draft. Well, that limits the salaries amounts for the Rockets players to that little handful that I mentioned. Jamon asked, if Jalen starts next year strong and plays like March 2024 Jalen, that's the ceiling. That's the hope. Opportunity to sell high, or do I keep him on the team? If he plays like March 2024 Jalen, the Rockets aren't going to trade it. They're going to say to all the folks, see what he can do. We told you he can do it. This is who we believe he can be. Game in, game out, month to month. So there, don't call. I would agree with that thought process. I probably would see what I get for him. But I doubt Rafael does that. But I hope the March 2024 Jalen is the Jalen. Starting in October and throughout the season. I hope that's him. Kind of doubt it though, but I hope that's him. Yeah, my trade was a little bit different. I don't see Jalen and Jabari. That giving up on both of them. I don't see that happening with the Rockets. I can see Dylan Brooks being involved in the deal, yes. So I think Jabari is probably not going to be receiving a contract extension this offseason. I think he'll bet on himself and try to get a better contract next summer. I think Tari probably will get a contract extension this offseason. Yes, I do kind of believe Ime wants KD, but within reason. He's not going to disrupt and tear down what the Rockets have just to get KD. I think if the price is right, Ime would be happy with KD. And if you ask me one or the other, who would probably be in favor of getting KD more if it's Ime or Rafael, I'd say Ime and Rafael. And that's another reason why I did not include Jalen in my trade proposal in the machine. They got Book and Bill, Brad Beal, I think Brad Beal is washed. I think he's washed. And JK Memes, a lot of folks on these shows share similar thoughts regarding Jalen. They just don't believe Jalen has the work ethic, the drive, that mental toughness, that dog, as a lot of folks have said here on these shows in Jalen. And folks have said you can compare Ant and Jalen, who's got the dog mentality. There's no comparison. Everybody will say, everyone will say Ant. Zelle wants the Rockets to not make a major trade and rely on the continuity. And I think that's what they're going to do. I can put in a proposal and trade machine that works for conversation on these shows. I don't believe the Rockets are going to do something like that, though. I'd be surprised if they trade for KD. I don't see it. I think they're going to stick with continuity. I believe that the organization can convince Tillman enough. Look at the success of OKC. Look at the success of Indiana. They did not blow it up. They did not panic. They improved from within, made a few deals on the margins, et cetera, like that. And look where they are. I think that's what they're going to do. WK, that's kind of where I'm going with regarding Tar. I think he and his people, as long as it's not a low ball offer, I think they will agree to a contract extension this summer. Oh, again, I don't believe they're going to do that this summer. I don't. I don't believe it. I just don't. And part of that is right. His value, if Jalen would have had a great first round and not do what he did in the first round, that would have helped the Rockets. See what he can do? Y'all see all he did against the Warriors? Instead of, did y'all see what he did against the Warriors? Ew. Like Warriors fans said on this show, if Jalen Green would have just been average in the first round, the Rockets would have won that series. That was coming from Warriors people. But, we'll see. Yeah, I think Brad Beal, and Brad still has the no trade clause. So there's not a lot of teams that he'll waive it for. I'm not sure the Rockets are one of those teams that he'll say, yeah, I'm good with that. Not Too Complicated says this. Cam needs a new support system around him if he doesn't mature. No argument for me on that one. Yeah, no argument. I mean, part of that's up to Cam as well. Cam, if a locked-in, focused, more mature Cam Whitmore came back for the Rockets in 25, 26, and was that Cam for the rest of his NBA career, the Rockets would be so much better. But how many of you believe that Cam will be who the Rockets get this season and in the future? A locked-in, focused, two-way player impacting both ends of the court. I don't see it. Let's see. What did Hader say? 4 years. What is that? That's about. That's a wide range. I can see Tara getting around 72 to 80 million, 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I can see that. The salary cap's going up 10% with the new media rights deal. And some of folks, family, we're going to see some salary numbers, contract numbers that just make you shake your head going forward to some of these players. Like, he getting that much? Damn. But my answer to that will be the team is offering it to that player. If a team or a boss offered that much to us, how many of us are going to say, ooh, I'm not worth that much? I think I deserve a little less. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, if the Rockets offer Tari that much money, Tari needs to take it. Whether we think it's too much or not, that's beside the point. So I mean, hey, that time is coming. By the end of this media rights deal, there are going to be some players, the all-star, the elite that are going to be earning damn near 80 million, 90 million a year. So, hey, I think that's part of it. C837, how are you? Thank you for your comment, your question. What's the minimum a Rockets with KD would have to achieve next year for it to be worth it? Are you saying after a 1 year rental kind of thing? Probably conference finals. Probably. Definitely past the first round for sure. But I say conference finals. Who am I more keen on the Rockets keeping? Jabari or Tari? Oh, one or the other. I'm still going to say Jabari. I mean, I was wrong on him. I admit it. I was wrong on him. Draft time, I thought he would be better than Paolo Banchero. I'll take that L. Big time. But for what he can do for the Rockets, rebounding-wise, he's got to improve his handle, especially with that left hand. But he can still do things that other Rockets can't do. His rebounding is better than some of their bigs. His three-point shooting is better than some of their forwards. He's got to stay healthy. He has to add to his game and add to his handles and do a better job in the mid-post and all those different things like that. And it would help, of course, if Ime would go to him more against shorter defenders. I think that was a missed opportunity in the first round. But, Tari gets by with hustle, effort. His hoops IQ kind of leaves some things, to be desired. His handle's not the best either. Needs to improve on that too. But, hey, Jayshawn Tate's time is probably up here at the Rockets. I think Landale's time is probably up with the Rockets. I'm talking about this summer. Those guys won't be here. To be determined, Baylor Bear 03, thank you for your question. To be determined. Can he play back-to-backs? We'll see. Hopefully, another year away from it that he can, but we'll see. That's a big question. Would I include a man in? No. No. I package Şengün in a deal for Giannis without Amen Thompson. No. Not anything beyond the leg issues that were finally made public. I believe there's something else that, with the leg issue, but we just don't know. Do I think Nate Hinton will get another invite to the Summer League? He's got a good relationship with the management and things like that. But, he could, in a sense, take Jayshawn Tate's spot, be a locker room guy and not play. He could do that, I guess. Nate, he just made a mistake when he left the Cougs. Oh, boy. That's a discussion that I would never make public. Boys. Oh. Should the Rockets sign JB Francis I think he'd be a good look for Summer League. I think JVR still has some upside. He only started playing basketball probably when he was like 11 or 12, so he hasn't been playing basketball long. So I think his best days could be ahead of him. And with Coach Sampson's connections in the league, I think Jay will get an invite to a summer league team, and we'll see if he makes the most of it. He might need to go overseas for a year or two and play well, and then get a look like that. But yeah, he had his moments his last year at the Cougs, and he was a very, very improved big man. All right, everybody, that'll do it. Thank you, as always, for the discussion. Oh, yeah, it's just regarding Jarris, it's a mistake in a sense of playing time. But when you are projected to be a lottery pick after your freshman year, you got to go. You got to go. Because another year in college, you might not be a lottery pick anymore. You had to go. Jarris had to go. Now, would he have done better a second year as far as basketball-wise and growth and development? Yeah. But he's a lottery pick. He had to go. Coach Sampson told him that. I tell any young man, you lottery pick, man, you got to go. You get better in the NBA. Get that money. Get that guaranteed lottery money. Go ahead. Get that money. Last I heard on Juan was his performance at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. As a guard, I mean, he's not a big man. He never got the ball at the pit. Never. I think the 3 games they played, his team played, he may have taken 4 shots, something like that. I mean, it was minuscule. Rebounding was decent, nothing earth-shattering. But yeah, it's just, yes, they do. The recruiting class on paper, 2 5-stars, and Kingston Flemings is borderline 4 or 5-star. Isaiah Harwell getting close to being 2 years away from his knee injury, which is why he opted not to go practice with Team USA. He's still here, stayed here in Houston to be with Coach Bishop and the strength staff. Bryce Jackson probably will redshirt, coming off his injuries that he had in high school for a couple of years. And probably he wouldn't play much anyway this freshman year anyhow. But, I mean, really. Mr. Big Texco knows it. I think Justin knows it. Nadine, thank you as always. Appreciate you for being part of the show. And a compliment, thank you. The 25-26 Cougar roster probably has 4 NBA guys on it. Does not mean they're going to be all-stars in the NBA or whatever, but they got 4 guys who will get drafted. Hell, I'm not even sure. Let me see. Chris Sinak, big man, Isaiah Harwell, Kingston Flemings, and Milo Suzanne. So, yeah, those 4 will get drafted. And then if Bryce Jackson gets healthy, and at some point he could probably get drafted. So maybe 5, but 4 for sure. But Juwan Roberts, Javier Francis, overseas players, they're not, they're undersized, really. They got long arms. That's the Kelvin Sampson staff, what they want from the bigs. Long-armed defenders that can rebound and switch on defense and move and defend guards on the perimeter. They like that. Not necessarily conducive to be NBA players, but, I mean, that's not really Coach Sampson and staff are trying to win in college. But agree with this. It feels good that top players are considering Houston, and there are other players for the class of 26, top 5 players considering Houston, signing with Houston. just a different time at the University of Houston, and it's great to see. H-Town, I agree with this. Mercy Miller, he might have a hard time if everybody's healthy. Yeah, he might, but he still might be first, second guard off the bench though. If Kingston comes off the bench, he could be the second guard off the bench because I'm not sure where Chase McCarty will play. Chase might be as a 3, and that will help balance out the roster. Zelle, thank you. Go Cougs, also agree with that. Great discussion. Great back and forth. Malik, have I heard from Malik? I need to ask. Reach out to his people, see where he is. Wish him well. He might get a look as well on a summer league roster. Not an NBA player. Probably not a rotational player. He could become one. Athlete. His rebounding, athleticism, and defense will get him a look. Got to make the best of it. So I wish all of them well. All the players well. Once you're a Coug, you're a Coug. And I wish all of them well. Overseas, you make good money. You go to the right team, right league, you still make great money. There's no shame in playing ball overseas. You can have a successful career, be paid well, live handsomely, and not be an NBA player. That's all right. That's okay. Yeah. Starting moving Alp to the 4. I don't see that happening, especially during the regular season. I don't believe it's that important to have Steven start. It might be a thing come playoff time against certain matchups, but it's a good problem to have for the Rockets. So, and this is also a change. It's part of the Coach Kelvin Sampson philosophy. It was not always the case. Alums were not always welcome back. That's a whole other story for another show that me and Fluff can get into. We've kind of touched on it in some of the shows. But everyone, thank you very much for your taking time out of your night. Hopefully try to make this part of your routine. 9 o'clock Central Time for these Let's Talk Houston Rockets shows. Again, the news this Saturday afternoon, Steven Adams agreed to a 3-year, $39 million contract extension to stay with the Rockets. We're going to have more live stream shows the next few days before the draft on June 25th, first round. We'll see if the Rockets have a pick in the first round. Still, they might trade out of it. Who knows? Tajay Moore, great athlete, not a great shooter. Bouncing around, pursuing that dream. But everyone, not too complicated. Bobby, thank you. Appreciate that. The Chosen One, Jaro, Justin, Generational Hater, Zelle, H-Town Big Dobbs, Nadine, everyone, if I missed you, Mr. Big Texco, JK Memes, Baylor Bear, everyone, thank you for taking time for your comment and or question. Appreciate your H-Town Finest. Thank you as well for joining the discussion. I'm not sure we're going to do it again. Let's see. Game 5 is Monday. So let's aim for another show on Tuesday, 9 o'clock Central Time. We'll do it again. Click on that bell so you are notified when new shows are posted. Spread the word about Let's Talk Houston Rockets. It's unlike any other Rockets show. And that's what I hang my hat on. So thank you as always. For those who are sports fans and not basketball only fans, the next edition of Folks Talking Sports will be Sunday, June 15th, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time. So tune in for that here also on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Bobby, at some point, I'm going to have an answer about a definitive answer of where the Cougs Arkansas game is going to take place. So at some point soon, hopefully. But wrapping it up, as I always do, salute to everyone for the great back and forth and great conversation. Let me do this for you. But I'm wrapping it up. Y'all know how I conclude the shows. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.
Game over.